Riverside.
Here we go.
Mr. White is excited and ready to go. Good morning, Mr. White.
Good morning, Mrs. Angel. How are you?
Glorious. This fine day. Glorious.
Spectacular. I like that. As my daughter says, she's learning Italian. Stupendo.
Oh, of course she is. Because now she's in grade 1.
Yes, in grade 1.
Yes.
Learning Italian.
Well, stupendo indeed. And we've got so much to catch up on.
We do. We haven't done one of these straight up ones without a guest for a long time, have we?
No, we haven't. So much to catch up on. You've been on camp.
I've been on camp. I have a story or two.
Feels like a month ago. You caught the COVID after that.
I did catch the COVID. It's been a couple of weeks. Yes, it has been a couple of weeks.
Tell us everything about grade 7 camp.
Oh, it was grade 7 camp. Grade 7 camp was awesome. I'm a camp fan. I do enjoy camp, but I do have 3 young children, 2, 4, and 7. So I haven't actually been on a long camp. I've managed to go down for a night or two when my wife has been, awesome. Said, just go, you love it. But this time she just said go for the entire 4 nights, so Monday to Friday. Because I'm a tutor for Year 7 this year, and I haven't been a tutor for many years. So, jumping in, I'm really, really keen, excited. And, so my wife said, go, you got to do it, love it, enjoy it. And I said, yes, I will. And I do. I really do enjoy camp. I love the getting to know the kids outside the classroom setting. I love the challenges with which they face. I love being part of that as well. I love jumping in and trying out things. It's good fun. What do you think? I think it's great fun.
I don't. If I'm being honest, really honest.
Well, there are camps and then there are camps.
I don't think it's fun. I think it is it just some people's thing? I don't know. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's so much.
It is exhausting, and it doesn't stop. And so, I think that's part of the reason why it's so good, though, because, and look, to be honest, this is a Year 7 camp for a lot of Year 7 students, and they're in bungalow sort of things and have air conditioning. I mean, there's camping and then there's camp. This is one of the better. This isn't hiking around Mount Bogong on a 5-day hike when it's absolutely bucketing down rain and freezing cold the entire time. That
sounds like something else you've done.
That was a different camp. We'll talk about that one another time. But this, it's a cruisy camp, but it's really cool because you get to know the Year 7s, first year of high school, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was great. And the weather was stupid hot. Like we had a proper heat wave in Melbourne during this time. And on the Tuesday evening, a storm.
What's a proper heat wave? What are we talking about?
Proper, 35, 40 degrees.
Celsius.
We haven't had Celsius, yes.
Yeah.
We haven't had many in Melbourne this season. It's been pretty tame by Melbourne standards. Usually you have 4 or 5 days of 40 degrees in a row. Anyway, so it was really stinking hot on the first 2 days, 35, 40 degrees, and then this storm hit on the Tuesday afternoon, and it was proper storm. Like, those storms where the sky turns green? No. Everything seems green tinge?
Yes.
Yeah. And we're watching this band of rain come across on the radar and go, oh, this is going to hit. So the kids, we put them all in their bunk rooms and told them just to stay put. And it's only in the last 20 minutes. We know it's just going to go through. But it was full on. Massive wind, massive rain. And then just as quickly as it came, it went. Awesome. So that was fun. But
How fun?
It's a lot of fun. But it knocked the power out, see.
Less fun. Immediately less fun.
Yes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, come on, these Year 7 girls can tough it out without electricity for a night or two. Of course they can. Of course they can. But what is the problem here? Well, there is water. There is running water, but the running water relies on it being pumped through the pipes. Now, these pumps were obviously run by the electrical system that was there. That system now being knocked out. So we didn't have running water. And it's about 6:30 on the Tuesday night, and there's no power anywhere. We actually could not get any phone service. We had 2 phones.
Once again, less fun. Less fun.
It's getting less fun
and
by the moment. Hey,
I didn't think it was fun to start with.
Stay tuned. All right. So no electricity. Okay, we can deal with that. No running water. Ooh, this becomes a bit more of an issue. And so we have a bit of a powwow and think about, okay, well, what are our options? They go, well, we don't know the state of the roads. There's no point trying to call a bus to take us home or anything. But we're safe here. Everything's cool. We still have water. We just have to go and get it. So they do have rainwater. So we got all the students to get their water bottles to march down to fill up because we had to go downhill because all the running water gets pumped uphill, you see. We went downhill to the rainwater tank and everyone filled up their bottles. So everyone had a litre of water for the evening. Fantastic, no worries. But, so after 2 days of stinking hot weather, do you reckon the kids were looking forward to a shower? Now, the problem with the shower is it relies on running water. So it's good fun telling 110 Year 7 students, sorry team, no showers tonight. And this might come as even more of a shock, no flushing toilets.
Well, I was going to bring up the toilets, but then I thought that maybe that was a silly question and they didn't rely on...
Yeah. Yes, no flushing toilets. So, we being the professionals that we are that deal with change and deal with crises really, really well and efficiently and effectively, decided that, okay...
You screamed and cried.
We screamed and cried and crawled into the fetal position for about 45 minutes. But after that, we gathered ourselves and we thought, okay, well, here's what we'll do. All the students are divided into about 7 of these big bunkhouses and they all have toilets. So why don't we get them water and we can teach them how a toilet works. Good learning experience for them. And they can do their, number ones, 2 or 3 in a row, and then pour some water in and flush it down that way. Awesome, because remember we have access to water. So we took the ute down to the water tap, the water tank, the rainwater tank, and pulled all this water up, and we gave everyone about 20 litres of water to help them with flushing the toilet. Now we said, obviously, team, number ones are fine. Number twos are a bit of a problem. But look, if you want to do number twos...
Hands up, everyone who needs to do a number 2.
Oh,
is that what you said?
Don't ever ask students who needs to do a number 2 because everybody hand went up. Everybody had it doesn't really... I would have thought out of 110 kids, I would have thought of maybe 30 would want to pinch one out tonight. I don't know.
Drop the kids off at the pool.
No, there's like 80 kids. Okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll use this particular toilet block, all right, and we'll get the teachers to help you. Now, obviously, I'm male teacher, as a female student, so I can't help out. But what I can do
you had no part in this.
I was pretty happy, but I do have brute force, and I was enlisted to do the grunt work of shifting water.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I didn't know what you were shifting. Excellent.
I was shifting water. Yeah, water. And yes. And look, if ever there is solidarity built between colleagues, it is in this situation because there are a couple of staff members who had to go in after every student and pour some water into the bowl in order to flush it away. And look, their commitment to the education and well-being and safety of these students can never, ever again be questioned. Ever be questioned. And I would have thought, okay, we got the kids, we got them dinnered, we got them fed, they went out, got their water,
poos,
put them in the toilet. This went on because this queue was like 80 kids all of a sudden need to go in because we only wanted to use like 2 or 3 toilets. We didn't want all of them. 2 or 3 toilets. It took forever. We're still moving water and flushing toilets with, water just into the bowl at, 10 o'clock at night. It was insane. But look, tell you what though, look, I'm not going to say it was fun, but it was definitely team building for the staff. And to their credit, the students rolled with it as well. And look, it was... It was a positive experience in terms of the learnings and the connections that were created. All right.
Well, nothing is sacred amongst that grade. And they know they have those teachers. Those teachers have got me. Even no matter what shit goes down, teachers. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
No, it was fun. And look, the students rolled with the punches, and they were awesome. They were amazing. We knew they would be, but the sound that was made by these 110 girls who were just sitting there quietly, and we're telling them what's going on, Now, we don't have any power. Oh, that's all right. We can live without lights for one night. Yes, that's good. Now, we don't have
It's not
running
just
water
lights.
because the pumps are run by this power. Oh, that's all right. We can go without showers. Okay. Now, you're not able to flush toilets. What? Oh, no! The uproar and just the moment of realization that this is way more than I can handle was etched on the face of every child sitting in front of us. But to their credit, look, they rolled with it, got it done, and the power didn't come back for another 2 days. But they did organise generators for the next morning. So we had generators to come along, and at least we had running water. We didn't have power because they were put on a different.
You had flushing
circuit.
toilets and running water.
We had flushing toilets and running water. No hot water. But that didn't matter because it was 40 degrees. So and the kids were jumping in water all day anyway.
At that stage, they had a thing called perspective.
Oh, they did. They did.
And now, at least now, their teachers didn't have to look at the poo that they'd left as they were pouring water down it. And those kids learnt perspective on that camp, which is the amazing thing about camp. There's so much that can be learnt. And the students, there's very few students who don't love a camp, and then there are the teachers that go with them who are absolutely. I honestly, there is the classroom work, there is the interactions with parents, there is the reporting, the marking, the reporting, there is the after school sport, there is the awards nights, there's the planning, and then
flushing.
And then there's the camps. Honestly, that's and that's the one step so far. And I always want to applaud the teachers that go on the camps, but really, Lauriston, you guys, yep, wow, above and beyond,
awesome.
And they really deserve cool. a raise and all of the accolades in the world. That's above and beyond, and then some.
And there were members of executive who'd come down just for that day. So they left Melbourne at 6 a.m. And at 11 o'clock that evening, they were still flushing students' stools down the toilet. So my hat's off to those staff members who came up just for that day, because really, and look, they were amazing. They were awesome. And, I love them because of it. And I love working with and for them as a result. And the thing that I'm really looking forward to, I cannot wait for 5 years' time when I'm sitting there and they year 7s who are now year 12s are giving their farewell speeches. The references to this camp.
That's going to be amazing. They're going to say, when my principal learnt that I need to eat more fibre on that fateful stormy night.
Yes, it's a good lesson. You've got to chew your corn. Oh
my goodness! Well, and so
fun times.
That is absolutely a phenomenal story. I also at my campus the other day, funny, very much lower level funny story. There was a girl standing in the foyer out the front of the toilets in our foyer. We're only on the one level, and it was class time, and she's just standing there looking awkward. She sees me and she knows she should not be there. If she's either in the toilet, she's out of the toilet. We talk about pace and purpose when using the toilet. Pace and purpose.
Pace.
We have silent bathrooms. You're going in for one job, one or two, and it's whatever you're doing. There's no lingering. You're in, you're out. And she's standing out in the foyer, and I said, "What's going on? What are you doing? This isn't pace and purpose." She goes, "You haven't been in there. It stinks." Yep. So we had a little chat. How about we head back to class for a couple of minutes? Come back in when it's all clear.
And did you proceed to enter the offending bathroom?
I took her word for it because she was the more informed person on that occasion. So I took her word for it. Gave her some advice.
Little pearls of managerial wisdom. The more informed person.
That's right. I did not need to go in there and check her work. I could just take her word for it and then give her some solid advice, which was come back come back in a few minutes. Anyway,
Oh,
all right.
spectacular.
That's a good check-in. I am going to give you.
Camps are fun.
I'm going to give you a magical moment.
Awesome.
Magical moment. Quite a topical thing. Tay-Tay, old the Swifties. The Swifties would know that Taylor Swift has hit the Australian shores recently, and Taylor fever is rampant. And
it really is.
It is. It is. It's a real thing. People are going crazy for her, and it is affecting schools, frankly. I know that we've had some absenteeism because obviously, well, you wouldn't know because Taylor came to Melbourne, but she didn't come to Brisbane. So people have had to make a real occasion out of it. They've had to fly to head down to see her. It's been a real thing. And what we talk about at my school at MSA is that success comes from quality teaching. It comes from attendance, so being there every day, and it comes from students putting in effort. And when all of those three things are in place, we get significant success.
Hang on.
So we had
So attendance, being there every day.
So it doesn't matter how good our teaching is, because if they don't turn up, we're not going to have no effect on them whatsoever.
Cool.
And then, sure, you can be there, but you can also be absent while you're there. So we also need the students to be putting in. Present. So we're going to do our job of the quality teaching and making sure we're making every moment count. We're even pooing with pace and purpose at our school. And
pace and purpose. Even alliterated. I love it.
It is. It's beautiful. And but anyway, so Taylor comes to town, and we've got some new students at our school, and we're talking about success, and success comes from quality teaching, being there every day, effort. And all of a sudden these kids are really buying into this. And then I get advised by one of my teachers when with a hashtag that she releases, which is hashtag MSA better than Taylor. Because one of our students who had her flights booked, her accommodation booked, her seats booked for Taylor Swift, actually decided that she had bought in so much to success at MSA that she gave up her Taylor Swift ticket because she needed to be successful at MSA. So she valued being at school more than she did. So MSA, hashtag MSA better than Taylor. That is my magical moment for this period of time, because she absolutely bought into to what our culture is all about.
I would say that is instantly in the top 5 magical moments of Fields. That's amazing. Like, if you want to talk about sacrifice, like I'm not a Tay-Tay
that is a sacrifice.
fan. What do they call them? Swiftie. I'm not a Swiftie. I like Tay-Tay. I shake it off every now and then, but it's but. For a student to actually make that decision, that's incredible.
So she was booked in with her parents, so her mum and her stepdad.
Flights?
Yep. So they went, and she stayed back with her auntie, and another sibling or somebody took the seat so that she could come to school. It was going to be a long weekend, a Friday and a Monday that she was going to miss, and she said, "No, I can't. I just can't. School's too important."
Just incredible. To put your learning ahead of something that is obviously going to be enjoyable for her.
Yeah.
And what an amazing endorsement for the program that you're providing as well, to allow students to see that and to empower them to make that decision. Yeah. That's incredible.
It is pretty cool, isn't it?
Top 5. I'm going to say top 2, I reckon.
Oh, Mr. White.
That's incredible.
I tend to agree.
I'm quite taken by that. That's really amazing, given how I know how big Taylor Swift is for these people.
And how spectacular those concerts were as well. Yeah. So very, very, very cool. Yes.
That is a magical moment for the ages.
There you go. So I hope that my my teacher, Kylie Cole, who is the teacher of that student, she was pretty excited to share that story. Mr. White's putting it top 2. So
you know what? I'm going to call it. I reckon it's the best. I reckon that's the best I've ever heard. For usually the magical moment is, a little thing that
14-year-old
the
girl.
student does and we feel good about it. The teacher feels good about it. But this is a massive thing the student has done. And it's not about recognition. It's not about anything else. It's just the sacrifice that this student has made is incredible and deserves to be recognised and celebrated.
There you go. Kylie Cole. There you go.
Snaps.
There's the snaps for you, my girl.
Snaps.
Well done.
Yeah, number one. Best magical moment ever. That's incredible.
If you disagree, if there's any listeners listening in and going, I've got a better one than that, send it in. Do it.
That's where the bar is. That's where the bar is.
I like it.
Wow,
all right,
that's
let's
great.
go. Wisecrack. Let's do that.
Whitey's Weekly Wisecracks. What do you got, Mr. White?
What do you have?
It's still funny. Well, look, this story comes from camp, believe it or not. So we're at camp, and part of what the students do is there's a duty group, and they go in to assist with making dinner and setting the table, and then cleaning up afterwards, which is great. And the students got to make a salad, and this salad I thought was a little dry, and I thought that it was something that needs a dressing. Gotcha.
I liked it. It's good. I'm gonna absolutely. I'm gonna pay that.
Yay!
Well done, Mr. White. And considering I know a bit more of the context of the camp, any wisecrack would have been celebrated on that account. If you were still wisecracking after you'd been carting water, pouring water, yeah.
So no, seriously, it was the next day was kind of fun. Yeah, because everyone was just a little bit more stinky because you're having a shower, and it was a little bit because it was 40. It was a stupid hot day. It was windy. It was horrible, and the next day was a perfect day.
Oh,
and the kids are out there. They're doing all sorts of amazing things. It's great camp. Good fun.
Bonding, the next level bonding. Maybe that's all the camp operators out there need to actually think about cutting the water source.
I think
on day 2 of the camp. That just build it in so that build it into it, and so that all of the teachers just need to know that they're going to be pouring water down, just pushing all of that through the number 2s. It's
just
team building.
It's another learning and experience that they facilitate.
It is. It's a growth opportunity for everybody.
For students and staff alike.
Oh, gosh. I just don't know how I feel about it still.
I did murder a beer that Friday afternoon when I got home.
I can only imagine. And then sadly, though, your wife had held that fort together for you. So you would have been walking into an exhausted wife and 3 children who were desperate to see their dad.
She was keen for a drink as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. Exactly. That is a bonding experience like absolutely no other. Well-deserved all around. Shout out to the teachers who go on camps, because it's usually a volunteer job. You can't really be forced into that. And then also equally important, the other family member who holds things together, holds the fort at home. Yep. Equal snaps to you all, because that's intense.
Yes, and I just want to highlight that and repeat that, because I love camp. I really enjoy camp, but I couldn't get away because I've got young kids. But my wife knew that I enjoy camp. She says, "No, you've got to go and do this. You'll love it. Go do it." I said, "Oh, maybe I'll go for 2 nights." No. You go for the whole time. I'll be fine. Loved it. Yep. Thank you, wifey.
Thank you, wifey.
Thank you, all the other partners who help out and support their partners in their teaching and shaping young minds and flushing
honestly,
toilets.
As a principal, seeing those teachers who excitedly step forward and want to embrace those opportunities, to give those kids those opportunities and those bonding moments and those memories, and for the kids, it's a moment in time that they're always going to reflect on. So giving them that opportunity, it's I think a massive moment of sacrifice. So well done. I have had such a fabulous start to the year.
Yes, tell us about your start. What's
So
going
many
on?
great moments with kids. I have got 95 teaching tales for so many reasons. So I'm going to do a teaching tale.
This is going to be a long podcast.
Teaching tales. Dun, dun, dun.
I am not going to do 95.
Okay.
Thank you for our listeners for just wanting to pause or cancel just then. I'm not doing my 95. I'm just going to tell you one. So we have had a great start to the year, and a great start because I knew that I had a lot of very key staff out for very important reasons. So I had one of my awesome assistant principals was out for the first 5 weeks for on paternity leave. He's got a beautiful little girl, little Matilda, and was at home with beautiful little Matilda and his wife.
Great name.
And so we knew that he was going to be out. And then a little bout of COVID hit our school. So I was doing my job as a principal. I was doing his job as the grade 4 to 6 assistant principal. But then the COVID hit, and then all of the teachers fell, which meant that I had the great opportunity to do a lot more teaching than what I would usually do. So I found myself in a number of classes, which was amazing. And it's always the best part of my day.
You do love that.
And I do enjoy it. And you obviously, sometimes you get sucked into other things, but it's so great to get back into a classroom and be reminded how amazing and impactful it is to teach. Those relationships and the multitasking and you just feel like a rock star when it goes well, and then obviously the reverse when it doesn't. Anyway, so this was a science lesson going really well. And obviously, as a principal, you've got a different role as a classroom teacher teaching a science lesson. And so I was teaching the science lesson, and it was going very well. And then I got some feedback from a student, which was lovely and humbling, because she put her hand up mid-lesson and she oh, yes, what have you got to add to the conversation here? And she said, Mrs. Angel, when you are a principal in your office, you're really, really quite, scary. And I'm not so sure, but in a classroom as a teacher, you're just a really nice old lady.
Imagine someone calling you nice.
Part of our staffing model is that we have a whole lot of assistant teachers in the classroom. So that our assistant teachers, I had 3 assistant teachers in the classroom. They're all university students studying education. Fabulous. They're helping with the learning support in the classrooms. And oh my gosh, watching these people just try to hold it together. I think one of their eyeballs popped out. And it was utterly glorious. So there you go.
Yes, it's lovely. It's lovely.
I'm a nice old lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, well, obviously that's not the case.
No.
But how do you do? Okay, so being a principal, and you're quite approachable, and you've got a pretty positive attitude in the world, and you're very good with people. How do you deal with students? And how do you actually go about getting rid of the title of what you are and what you represent for the student, and actually try and connect with them as people?
In our school is a little bit different, so I'm so much more closely connected to kids in my current setting than what I ever have been in my previous principal roles or assistant principal roles previously. So, and that's been by design. I was definitely teaching when the school originally started, so I got to work with so many kids right from the start. I was also on playground duty every lunchtime when we first started, so I'm out there playing handball with the kids, and definitely at the start, obviously destroying. And it's important for kids to learn how to lose and lose well. And obviously,
Absolutely.
I model how to respectfully lose as well. And I don't know, and so getting to do, I do all of the enrollments, so I get to meet the students, I get to hear their stories. Part of the enrollment process at my school, the students tell me why they want to come to my school. So it's me not having a conversation with the parent. It's about connecting with the kids. So right from the very start, the student has shared their story with me. So in some ways it's easier to stay connected to them. So they know that I really know about them, and I am deeply committed to their improvement and their growth and why they want to come to my school. So one of the things I don't want to walk away from ever is doing all of the enrollment interviews, or as many of them as I can, so that I can hear those personal stories and stay connected in that way.
Yeah.
And then I'm walking the hallways. I'm in classrooms every day. We have open, I'm in every classroom every day. So the kids know that I'm in there commending them on their learning and talking to them at lunchtimes. And so it's easy. It's easier for me to step into a classroom and teach them, but it is a different relationship as a teacher, because I know that starting story. I'm connecting with them at lunchtimes usually, and then I'm also holding them accountable in that principal position. So it's nice to be in that classroom, seeing them as learners, and having that. Yeah, it's just such a great role. It's a different role as a principal to a teacher, but it's so nice to step back into that learning role and, commend that. Oh, that was a good thinking question. Thank you so much. And laughing at myself and giving points to them when I've, said something silly or got it wrong. And I don't know, it's just such, you can create such a fun environment as a teacher. It is relentless, but I always enjoyed that relentlessness as a teacher and those deep relationships that you can build with kids. And so every time I get to step into a classroom and be a teacher, I feel myself getting to deepen my relationship with kids. And if I pine for anything as a principal, I pine for those really deep relationships with kids that you get to create. And I miss it as a principal. I don't get to have a whole lot of those really deep relationships with kids.
Yeah, and I think that's true of all the staff leaders that I've encountered in my career. If they've removed themselves from the classroom because their position necessitates that, they do talk about how they miss the classroom, miss those connections.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful that you're in an environment that allows you to maintain that.
Absolutely.
and when COVID hits, you go in and you do everything.
Keeps it real. Keeps it fresh real for me. Reminds me who I really am. A really nice
and old
lady. There you go.
I don't think you've ever been called any of those three things before. Nice old lady.
You're exactly right. You've hit the nail on the head there, Mr. White. Indeed. All right. Hey, I also, right back at the very start, I had told you about we had started an initiative called Grateful Gatherings, and wanted to give an update on that.
Please do. Yes.
It has been, it has evolved. It has, so it's definitely deepened relationships student to student.
Can we remind everyone what Grateful Gatherings is and what it is trying to do?
Fabulous. It was something that I learned over in the UK in my travels over Christmas time. Went over and got to see their schools. They have family lunch where all of the students eat their lunch together, and then there's some targeted questions to allow the students to interact with each other in a really positive way and kind of deepen those relationships student to student. And Amazing. So we're aiming to, rather than using learning time for that well-being, we are using their lunch time to kind of deepen those social relationships. Brilliant. And so we get them to share a bit more about themselves through some targeted questions. And then we also get them to share gratitude. And obviously gratitude has been proven through positive psychology to really help. Yep, absolutely. Yep. To help you to have that satisfaction with life. Yep. And so we're giving the students some really targeted questions to consider what they are grateful for, and then a forum to be able to share their gratitude as well. So all happening within a really targeted 15-minute period at lunchtime, one time a week is all we're doing at the moment. And so it's been beautiful to see how our teachers, we had a structure initially, thankfully it has evolved and changed because they've come up with some amazing ideas of how to actually make it better and more kind of sustainable. And the teachers are really enjoying it, which is absolutely paramount to me, because it's happening in 15 minutes during one lunchtime a week that they're doing themselves, and the kids are looking forward to it as well, which is great. Brilliant. So we're going to continue with it, and I hope that it continues to evolve and improve as well.
Awesome. So the kids have taken ownership of this in some way. The students have taken ownership of it, and they've sort of reshaped it. Have they?
Definitely have given some feedback on how that would work better for them, and can we do this, and can we sit in this formation, and can we do this afterwards, and we've also had some really lovely positive feedback from parents about it. Because we shared a little bit with the parents about what we were doing, but not really the reason why, because we didn't know if it was going to stick around long term. But now I've been able to share with parents about specifically what we're doing and why we're doing it, which has been great. And they've been able to say, well, this is what our kids are saying about it, which has been largely very positive, which is great.
Amazing. It's really hard implementing something new and getting people to buy in. But it sounds like you've been pretty successful with that. That's great. And I reckon the reason for that is it goes beyond the alliterative title of Grateful Gatherings. Yeah. Clever a term as that is.
Thank you. Yes, it does. And it also is about teachers and their positive attitude to it as well, and wanting to invest in student wellbeing time, but also really valuing that teaching time as well. So we can find that happy medium to make sure that we're always investing time in that, but not at the expense of really important learning time.
Absolutely.
And hey, considering we're hashtag MSA better than Taylor, is a great indication that our kids really care about their learning time.
I cannot think of a higher accolade for that to not only does that exist, but for it to be created and endorsed by what do they call Swifty? By a Swifty.
By a Swifty. Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah. So no, that's. I don't want to be taking anything away from Taylor, because Taylor is ruling the world, and rightfully so. So massive Swifty here. I wasn't able to get tickets, but yeah, she's fabulous.
I like it.
Fabulous.
I wouldn't count myself as a Swifty though.
No.
But that's good. All right. That's great. I love it.
All right. Well, Mr. White, I've missed you. I've missed being able to catch up, talk everything. Yeah, it's been wonderful. And we've got great special guests, though, coming up. So we'll catch up again in ourselves in a few weeks or at some stage in the future. So if anybody wants to get involved in the show, please reach out. But stay tuned, because we've got some amazing, amazing guests coming up in the future.
We definitely do. And if you want to get in touch, you can get in touch via our email address, which is teacherschangelivespodcast@gmail.com. Notice how not only did I get the address correct, but I actually posted it myself. I actually called it out myself.
Through to it. Such confidence,
Mr. White.
That's it. Oh! You threw to it without me
prompting,
having to lead you to it and challenge you to it. Such confidence. And all of the socials, get involved. And we love the teachers. We love the wannabe teachers. We love the people who are championing the teachers. We love the parents of the kids who are taught by teachers. So get involved, and we love you all. All right.
We do.
Let's get out of here, though.
Taylor Swift might be a pop star, but we are the rock stars.
Ah, we are indeed. Good evening, Mr. White.
Good evening, Mrs. Angel.
Powered by Riverside.